You had people walking out of Donald Trump's disastrous speech in Pittsburgh early while he basically lied about everything to steel workers for U.S. Steel who were about to have their lives ruined by Donald Trump, and they don't even fully realize it yet. You have physical altercations breaking out in the White House with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent getting into a physical fight with Elon Musk. You have Elon Musk showing up in the Oval Office for some bizarre press conference with a black eye on the heels of a New York Times story saying he would consistently abuse ketamine and mushrooms while he was destroying the federal government and destroying your life. You had Elon Musk looking like he was in some condition that clearly looked very impaired. And again, this is the person destroying your life and your family's life. You have Donald Trump saying that he's now imposing a 50% across the board tariff on steel into the United States, which will cause tens of thousands of jobs here in the United States, hundreds of thousands possibly, as a lot of our manufacturers domestically buy steel as a component part for the things that they're building. Also, it should be noted that Donald Trump, when he would build buildings or when he would slop his name onto buildings, he would frequently use Chinese steel, which he called shoddy today, but that's the type of steel that he would use. And you have Donald Trump getting mocked internationally as the international community calls him a taco. Should we do a choose your own adventure? Where do you want to start? Okay, why don't we start quickly in India where Donald Trump is getting mocked as a taco.
Can you believe
Trump
this
always
guy?
chickens out.
First,
this is
he's
I'm
going on
going to show
about
you like
Harvard
10
getting
seconds of
$5
it, but this
billion
goes on
like
for
it's
like
some
3
crime.
minutes.
Hello, it's called
Here's
research
Donald
funding.
Trump being called a taco
And then he
on
claims
India
we can't
TV.
lose this
Play
case
this
about
clip.
grants as if he's already decided the outcome. Typical. Acting like he's doing us a favor by not giving more grants to education. And the way he praises Columbia for acting well while trashing Harvard for trying to be a big shot, so petty.
All right, let's take a look at Elon's condition with a black eye and looking like he's under the influence of something in the Oval Office. Let's just play this clip of Elon. Let's play it.
Our country has given $5 billion plus to Harvard over a short period of time. It's a case we win. We can't lose that case because we have the right to make grants. We're not going to make any grants like that. Very nice. I think Columbia wants to get to the bottom of the problem. They've acted very well. And there are other institutions too that are acting, but Harvard's trying to be a big shot. And
yeah, that's bad. It's embarrassing to our nation. I mean, Elon's done so much to embarrass himself already, but the fact that that's an individual who destroyed our federal government, killed likely hundreds of thousands of people based on the cuts that were made at USAID and other things, really just an unforgivable, putrid human being. And of course, the putrid human being next to him, Donald Trump, was giving that speech that I talked about at the outset of this video, this disastrous speech at U.S. Steel. Now, Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans are claiming that Nippon Steel is not acquiring U.S. Steel, that it's some partnership or some investment. It's just more lies. Show me the deal, because the deal I'm aware of from 2024 was a deal whereby Nippon Steel acquires, buys, purchases U.S. Steel. And that's why allegedly Trump was against it, why former President Biden rejected it. But here's Donald Trump lying and saying that he also cut the deficit in half already, that he's cut the deficit in half. Play this clip.
Jealousy is dripping off his words. Asterisk. Then he drops this ridiculous line about cutting the trade deficit in half last month. Excuse me? The numbers just came? What numbers? He's just making stuff up on the spot like always. And that arrogant before we even got started bit pure fantasy. The man lives in his own reality. But the Putin stuff takes the cake. You crushed Putin in about 2
In fact, Donald Trump has added to the deficit. The deficit has increased under Donald Trump. Federal spending has increased under Donald Trump and Elon Musk. It's worse. And then when you factor in what's going to happen with this disastrous budget bill, it's going to add trillions and trillions to the deficit and really destroy America's long-term potential. Speaking about destroying America's long-term potential, I'll give you a brief primer in some individuals who are immigrants who are now leading top American corporations who studied in the United States. NVIDIA CEO, AMD CEO, Intel CEO, Broadcom CEO, Alphabet CEO, Microsoft CEO are all Asian immigrants who have contributed to the United States. And under Donald Trump's policies, people like that will be blocked. So I think the American people are getting it. I think with all of this corporate news BS that's out there, you still have in the generic poll by Atlas Intel, and they were the most reliable pollsters in the past election. Atlas Intel was in a generic ballot poll, and this is an A+ poll. They have Democrats up by 51% to 42%. Democrats in the lead. And if you think about, just even, politics is a game of addition, not subtraction. Just think about the ultimate betrayal that happened at the end of last week, right? Where the Supreme Court at Donald Trump's request removed additional temporary protected status from 500,000 Cubans, Venezuelans, and Haitians. This is on top of the prior Supreme Court ruling getting rid of temporary protected status for just the Venezuelans. And you all remember the Cubans for Trump, the Venezuelans for Trump. And they said Donald Trump's never going to go after us. He's only going to go after criminals. He's not going to revoke our parole status or temporary protected status that former President Biden gave them. Well, y'all attacked former President Biden, who gave you the parole status, the temporary protected status to be here, to have thriving lives in the United States. And Donald Trump took it away. So I don't know what other issues are on your list of issues that are important. I'm just saying, on the one hand, Biden allowed you to live here and live successful lives, pay taxes, have a job, become a contributing member to the United States of America, and maybe one day a citizen. Donald Trump just ripped that from you, and he wants to send you back to Castro. He wants to send you back to Maduro. That's what's really going on. I'll share this with you also to kind of show you the ultimate weakness of Donald Trump. Here he is right here at various times talking about when it comes to Putin, 2 weeks. What was it? March, April, May. I just need 2 more weeks. Give me 2 more weeks, everybody. So utterly pathetic. Here, play that clip.
You trust President Putin?
In about 2 weeks.
Is Ukraine doing enough to get this?
I'd rather tell you in about 2 weeks from now.
Keep saying 2 weeks about President Putin. What is 2 weeks? Give us, what is the actual date? What is the timeline?
2 weeks or less, and if it's a little more at the time, I say, but, they're losing a lot of people.
See those little dates up at the top, April 27th, May 19th. Today is May 28th. So 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Now we're still 2 weeks away.
And then finally, I'll show you this one other portion of Donald Trump's press conference with Elon Musk, which is, again, it's just so utterly pathetic and it's so beneath contempt. But let me just show it.
2 weeks, what does that even mean? 2 weeks from when? It's been months of him saying 2 weeks like it's some magic incantation. And when pressed, he just doubles down with, what is 2 weeks? Yeah, dude, that's what we're asking you. And don't get me started on the mice transgender nonsense. First of all, it was developmental biology research, you ignorant. And $8 million is nothing in research terms. But of course he acts like it's the crime of the century while ignoring actual waste. Typical cherry picking to feed his culture war nonsense. Ugh, I could scream. Asterisk. This version turns the statements into an emotional reaction. Adds rhetorical questions and interjections. Includes sarcastic commentary. Shows disbelief and frustration. Maintains all original claims while mocking them. Uses more conversational, rant-like delivery.
So I'm going to check in throughout the day on the YouTube channel. I'm going to do another video soon on focus just on India, how they're furious at Donald Trump still, and probably forever. I'm going to do a video on world leaders, what their response is. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to really expose Donald Trump's history of using Chinese steel over American steel, and how he's going to really screw over those workers, especially union workers who work at steel plants. So keep checking back in throughout the day, and we've got a lot of good videos coming up. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
Can't get enough Midas? Check out the Midas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MidasPlus.com.